following is a presentation on gross motor skills that you can help your child develop within the first 2.5 years of life.
First up, we have what are gross motor skills. Gross motor skills involve a person's ability to perform complex activities using large muscles of the body. These skills and/or activities include, but are not limited to, walking, running, sitting, standing, jumping. In infants, these activities would also involve crawling and climbing onto furniture.
You may ask how these skills develop. Well, gross motor skills develop progressively and gradually. In order for them to be properly and fully developed, a child would need to improve their posture, their coordination, and synchronize the right and left sides of their bodies. Spatial orientation, that is your child's awareness of their surroundings in relation to their body, is also imperative to gross motor development. The most important factor in gross motor development is that the child is encouraged to engage in activities that will exercise the muscles needed to perform large motor activities.
Why is it important for these skills to be learned? For mainly physical health. They will enhance the child's muscle growth and development. The child will also become more physically active, improving their health. Emotionally healthy also. While developing these skills, your child will learn traits like independence and self-confidence, skills that they will carry on into adulthood. Once these skills have been mastered, the child will, through their independence, be able to explore their world on their own. They will learn so much more.
The following are a series of slides that outline the gross motor skills that your child should be developing at each age group. The first, we have 0 to 6 months. One of the gross motor skills that your child will be learning is to sit up. This will mainly be exercising the abdominal muscles, but as well they will be exercising the back and their neck muscle to keep their head elevated. One activity that you can do with your child at this stage to encourage sitting up would be to place an attractive object in front of their face to encourage them to sit up and grasp for it. Another gross motor activity or skill that your child will learn is kicking spontaneously. That's not necessarily learned, it's something that they just naturally will do. A muscle that they will exercise, or the muscles mainly that they will exercise during that time, will be their femoral or leg muscles. An activity to encourage this activity is using a light-up toy that you can purchase at any Meijer, Walmart, any store selling children's toys that will encourage your child to kick it in order to make it light up. Another gross motor skill would be attempting to roll over. At this point, your child will be using abdominal and back muscles mainly, as well as arm muscles. That would be the biceps and triceps brachii in order to roll over. Another activity to encourage this gross motor skill would be laying next to the child and demonstrating how to roll over and encouraging them to roll over. Another gross motor skill would be lifting their head. That would be in conjunction with sitting up, and you would use, or the child would use mainly their neck muscles. Another activity to encourage this would be placing an attractive object in front of the child, much like encouraging them to sit up.
Now we'll move on to 6 to 12 months. First off, we have stand supported by furniture, which also works the femoral leg muscles and the trunk muscles. Place an object in a high place or position for the child to follow. Second, bouncing, also femoral and trunk. You can buy a bouncing chair or even just set the baby on your knee, holding him slightly firm so he won't fall off. Then walking. All leg muscles, trunk, neck, back muscles. Includes all those. Standing below the ladder. Leader. Follow the leader.
The next age group that we will come to is 12 to 18 months. At this point, your child will be walking. They will be using mostly the femoral and leg muscles. But also the trunk and back muscles as well. In conjunction with those, they will also be using their neck muscles. The next age group that your child will come to is 12 to 18 months. At this point, they will be walking. And the muscles that they will be using at this point will be their femoral, which are their leg muscles, trunk, back, and neck muscles as well. An activity to do to encourage this activity would be follow the leader and pull and push toys that you can purchase at any store. Another activity another gross motor skill would be overhand throwing. At this point, they will be attempting to throw balls over their head, overhand instead of underhand. They will be using their back and biceps and triceps brachii, which are the arm muscles. They will be pitching, catching, and throwing balls in order to exercise this muscle. This activity. That is something that you can do with your child. Jumping would be another gross motor skill that they will be using or demonstrating and practicing at this time. That will be using their femoral or leg muscles once more, back, neck, and arm muscles as well. And a lovely activity to do with your child in order to practice any gross motor skill would be Simon Says, but mainly this is one to use in order to encourage jumping as well.
Now we get to 18 to 24 months. At this stage, your child will begin collaborating the skills they have developed and over their lifespan. They will start reaching out for objects while standing and walking. Neck, abdominal, leg, arm, and back muscles will all be used together to form more complex activities. Activities such as throwing and catching balloons or tug-of-war.
The next age group that your child will come to is 12 to 2 to 2.5 years. By this age, your child will be mastering the complex movements they were developing 6 months prior. Neck, abdominal, leg, arm, and back muscles will still all be used together to perform these activities. These activities would include kicking balls while running, skipping, and in order to do so, you can set up an obstacle course for them to skip around. The following are a few videos taken at a previous date. These demonstrate a child's progressive development in their gross motor activities. The first is a child about the age 2 years old who is dancing around a living room. Dancing is a great way to help your child to develop these gross motor skills. It's also very enthusiastic, which is an important factor in practicing gross motor skills. The second video is of a child in their home living room crawling, and then as you see, she's picking herself back up, sitting up on her knees and grasping or reaching to grab the camera. These are all gross motor activities that are learned around this age, and it's very important, once again, that you encourage these activities. The next video is of a child about 1.5 years old who has walked, but this began walking, but this demonstrates a child's likelihood to use objects to grasp onto and hold themselves up in an upright position. She can stand on her own at this point, but once again, this is just a demonstration of a child who would be holding onto a piece of furniture, or in this case, a dog's cage, to hold themselves up. And as you can see, she's exploring the dog cage by opening and shutting the door. Activities such as these are very important to encourage because they, once again, as previously stated in the slideshow, they encourage independence, and that will develop self-confidence for themselves, which will help them in their adult years. It's very important, as any adult would know, to have self-confidence and a sense of independence. We hope that you've enjoyed this presentation, and we hope that it's very helpful in furthering your knowledge and gross motor skills, and it helps you to better understand your child and encourage them to develop these skills.